Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day. This is the Friday afternoon slash evening Zoom edition. I'm back from my Christmas New Year's break. Good to see you guys joining me on a Friday afternoon. And it's been an eventful week in crypto. We had some FUD on Wednesday morning regarding the ever present and looming Bitcoin ETF, which is supposed to galvanize the masses to acquire exposure to Bitcoin quite easily. So any, and that's supposed to be approved by the SEC probably in a week or so, early January. I think the 10th, around there. And all these institutions are poised and eager to offer this to their investors. And this is allegedly going to pump the price of Bitcoin. Perhaps it has already, and this is priced in. That's one concern. Or it could be, what do they call that? Buy buy the rumor, sell the news. Could be one of those
Yeah.
events. They talked about this in some detail in the CryptNation call yesterday. And speaking of that, I'm going to go to a Twitter tweet and look at something a little different than usual. I should be seeing my Twitter feed. And this is somebody that Bryce from the CryptNation group suggests we follow regarding the ETFs. It's Eric Balchunas. He's might be butchering his name, but he had a post less than an hour ago that BlackRock amendments. BlackRock was one of the companies supposed to provide this for their investors. Has provided an amendment. He had a post about an hour before that talking about more activity with BlackRock, and so I think this is the more accurate news, though it is from Twitter or X. The FUD that tripped up the market early Wednesday morning for us in the US, in the western part of the country, probably Wednesday night for my friends on the other side of the world. It was some obscure article from a nothing website saying that these ETFs were not going to be approved, and it just, Bitcoin dropped 11-12%. The alts doubled. There were liquidations all over the place on the derivative charts, and so a lot of us who do auto trading got stung by that to some degree. So it's frustrating when some kind of nothing news event you trigger such a thing. Maybe it would have happened anyway because of all the leverage that was in the market, people going along in anticipation of this. Not sure, but anyway. So that's what's going on there. Anybody care to add or comment on the ETFs and the FUD from earlier in the week?
Ethereum ETF, the last I read was being postponed, put out farther.
Yeah,
which we're supposed to follow. I thought reasonably quick, but they're talking April, even May, the last I read.
Yeah, they'll probably want to see what happens with the Bitcoin one first before they allow other coins. But yeah, let's look at the Bitcoin chart then. This is the big monster candle we had from yesterday morning, or sorry, Wednesday morning, and recovered most of it. And then kind of volatile this week, bouncing between, say, 42.8 and 45, but not doing a whole lot today. It's just mostly sideways today, hanging around 44. And has not been able to break or hold this area, top of my zone here at 45K. And Ethereum, I drew a zone much higher, looking for this to hit 3,000. It's not really even close. It hasn't been able to break or close above 2,400. It doesn't have the strength or the momentum behind it like Bitcoin does with the ETF talk. The Ethereum ETF, like I had talked about, is it's more on the horizon. So that's what's going on with those two. Let's see in the chat. Matt, I actually posted this in a group I'm in, mentioned that the Bitcoin dump had to do with a reverse Kramer effect. If you're familiar with Jim Cramer, the talking head on CNBC regarding stocks and investments and things like that,
Yeah.
has an uncanny ability to be wrong. It's highly entertaining, but
Matt thinks he's got a reverse Midas touch.
yeah, that's exactly it. So I think there are funds out there that are inverse Kramer, and you can invest in them and they do pretty well. So anyway. So that's it for the news. Anybody have anything they care to add before we look for some trades?
No, nothing from me.
Okay, so I talked a little bit about this before the recording. I did do a new 2024 sort of overview of what I hope to accomplish with this call on Mondays and Fridays. It's an update from the one I did 2 years ago. And it talks about if you haven't been on this call before, and you're watching this, then it's a good idea to check out that video, and especially some of the links in the description from past videos that can really get you up to speed about how I think it's a good way to use Altcoin Alert would be, and that would be for day trading and short-term swing trading. We'll be talking about that shortly. So check that out if you're on my email list. I emailed it about 2 hours ago, so it should be waiting for you. If you didn't get it for some reason, email me, cryptocj13@gmail.com, and I'll send it to you. And one look at the chat before we go. Yeah, Matt, check that out. All right, so let's look at Altcoin Alert, see what we can do. We'll start with day trading first. And for that, I like to start with a sort using the AA score. I'm on the altcoin radar. I get all the information this way. I'm going to reload, get the most current info.
No 80s.
Yeah.
Ah, there's one.
For some reason, my altcoin alert doesn't look like this. It doesn't have the social and the trading, like the thumbs and stuff.
Okay, does it look like this?
No, I've done both, like easy mode, the radar, and all that. Yeah, whenever I go to that, yeah, it just shows up to it's in different order. Even it's like the AA, and then shit. Let me look. It's even on, and I tried it on my computer too, and it's still not giving me the last two, I think, or maybe the last three.
Okay, if that's the case, you should definitely reach out to support and talk about that. They might end up referring you to me, but maybe we could get on a Zoom and take care with it.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. All right, so yeah, this is the basic setup I've been using for most of my time using this tool. I'm going to sort by the AA score. I'm looking for values 80 or higher. I'll fudge around 78 or 79 sometimes, depending on what I see. But I've got values above the 80. I've got waves and Chromia. Chromia had a big pump last week, and it's given a lot of it back. So this one's could be a little risky. It's 83.8 right now, which means Altcoin Alert thinks there's an 83.8% chance. This will go up 3 to 5% next 48 hours or less. So let's check it out. I have my day trading 15-minute chart on at the moment, but I'm gonna take a quick look at the 5-minute, see if I can spot a 1, 2, 3 dip. It's one of my favorites to trade. Turn this off for a moment. And it was just dipping, just dip, and then finally pumped up. So this would have been kind of a fake out. This is the closest I see to what I'm looking for on the 5-minute chart. You get the squeeze, you get the bubble, but it just mostly just trends down on the bottom of the Bollinger Band, and before it gets a move here. So as a practical matter, I probably would have seen this as a 1, 2, 3. Might have gotten in around here. That would have been a little too soon. maybe I do a ladder buy or two, and then I catch this move back up. So I'm probably in 2 or 3 positions if I made this particular entry on a not so perfect 1, 2, 3 dip. Now, if you want to, we're going to talk about indicator alerts shortly, but if that's a little over your head, you don't want to deal with that. We go over here to the supply and demand visible range, and it gives us support and resistance on the 5-minute chart. And the green zone is here. So I'd be setting an alert around here, around 0.224 cents. This would be a price alert. And usually AA score purchase, call it what you want, and set up your notifications how you like. And you're good to go on a price alert. But as you know, if you've attended my Zoom before, I prefer alerts on the 15-minute chart. And we've been using the RTI and the cumulative delta in addition to the supply and demand. So at the moment, this looks pretty good. We've got a break down into the green zone coming back up on the RTI. We dipped, there's a big dip down here below the 20, and we just broke above it about 15, 20 minutes ago. So I like that. Our cumulative delta has a nice run of green candles here. We got a little red one forming, but this looks pretty good. So, this is a pretty good setup, not trading advice or financial advice, but, so far so good on a long. I just don't know if I trust it because, it had a big pump like this. It's given about half of it back. So if it's bouncing up and ready to go again, could be a good entry. So that's something you can consider trading right this moment. Now, if you want something better, it's a dip and a retrace, which is one of my favorite ways to trade. I also like pumps and retraces. So when we look at the RTI, this is the 20 value, dip and come back up. This is the 80 value. So this is a break up above and then a drop. So these are goods for shorts if you're trading on leverage. Trading on spot, you're going to be looking for more for this setup here. And so there's different alerts you can use. So if you're trading spot, we're going to right click on this, crossing up on the 20. If you want to leave it on all day, you go once per bar close. I usually use the information source for the alert name. Now I typed in AA score purchase a few times, so TradingView remembers that. So I can just select it. I'm going to notify on my app, which is on my phone, pop up on my computer screen, and also play a sound on my computer screen. And probably go 3 notes reverb. And that's how you do that. Click create, and that alert will show up over here, in your alert area. Okay. Another thing to do is, let's say you want to establish the trend better. That dip below and break above the 20 isn't sufficient for you. You want more energy, a little more oomph to it. So you could go crossing up the 50. That's that. I've highlighted this in the I forgot what it's called. The style. Yeah. Yeah, that's not the default. I added that and I made it a dotted line. It may have been dotted already. And if you find my overview video, I put links to my chart setups. So there'll be one for something like this that you're seeing now, and then the swing trade we're going to talk about in a little bit. But anyway, that's if you want to go over the 50, that's another option. The last time it broke above the 50 was here, and it had a really nice move. This one kind of tickled it. And then this one here was a fake out that eventually recovered. Well, actually, it did pretty well. It went up, yeah, almost 4%. So that's a good day trade. So the break above the 50 looks pretty good. And then if you really want to catch something towards the middle or the end of a monster move, you can use the 80. So how we do that? The right RTI crossover 50 is the first thing that's listed. You could just leave that if you want to do the 50. Or you can do the cross up on the 80 once per bar close, and the rest is the same as I just showed you. So if you're more into trend trading on the long side or on spot, then you could go with the 50 or the 80 to catch those trend-based moves, and you'll want to match those with the cumulative delta to see what the actual machinations within the candles are. So, all right, that's about all I have for Chromia on the 15-minute. Any questions? Let's check the chat. Yeah, Matt is asking, is it a must to pay for TV to actually make this work? $30 a month is high for me. Well, if you're going to be a day trader and do this every day, yeah, you might want to go with what's the first paid level? Is that the pro level at $15 where you get like 10 alerts? And I'm a little rusty on that. 30 a month might be high. So, but eventually you'll want to work your way up to the point where you're building profits and you can afford, the $30 a month, because you'll probably want to do some more things with TradingView. I'm showing you 2 chart setups, which I believe the first level will accommodate. And the last time I checked, that was $15. But hey, inflation, maybe it's 30 now. I'm not sure.
I do have a question, or 2 questions. First is, basically, I'll get the question from this. Is it worth it to attempt futures on Coinbase?
I haven't
Are
tried it.
options a better choice than futures?
I haven't traded options before, and I haven't traded futures on Coinbase. I've done it on foreign exchanges, but and actually I
So
do that nearly every day. But
is that the only way you get to use leverage, is by using these odd exchanges or foreign exchanges?
well, you ask a good question. You're just a little ahead of me. I haven't tried Coinbase's futures yet, so I'm not sure if I will, because I have a lot of money parked on some of these other things that I took it was a bit of a headache to get qualified for. Excuse me.
I'm just curious how to like where to go to start trying to use leverage.
Well, what's your experience in spot trading?
I've been in crypto for about 3 years, and I've been learning the charts for, I don't know, a year maybe. So I'm not very good at it, but I do pick up on things pretty fast. And I'm just curious, if I do begin, like, feel confident enough to attempt it, what's a good place to go to use leverage? Because they say KuCoin, but KuCoin, like, whenever I try to register, even, the KYC, they don't do it for the US. I even tried using like a Mexico VPN and download it and everything, and it's still, I mean, it's still, whenever you go through the KYC, you have to give your ID.
Everyone on this call is familiar with that kind of annoyance and pain, except maybe Craig. But yeah, all the US people are, and there's a workaround for it. If you're serious about it, email me and I'll share some information with you about it. But it's going to be more expensive than what you just described in the trading view. But generally, I suggest people have 6 months to a year of spot trading success, meaning you're making money, before you seriously consider leverage, because you lose faster, and
And I'm
it's
just
very
playing
different.
around. Like my first 2 years, like for taxes, just on Coinbase, I was negative like 200 the first year, to negative 40, and then this year I'm only positive 400. But it shows improvement.
Yeah, that's improvement.
And I'm not playing with much. Like the
Okay.
bulk of my portfolio is sitting in Cold Wallet.
All right. So you got some things you're holding, and you're in your
Yeah.
cold wallet, so that's
Bitcoin
good.
and
And
Ethereum, basically, you know, and
yeah,
I got a few altcoins that I'm tempted to start putting back on exchanges to take profits or swap
okay.
out or.
All right. Well, so you've got some experience, and if you really want to learn, yeah, if you want to do that, if you want to cash some of those out or use them to pay for, or the workaround I can share with you, then go ahead and email me and I'll let you know how that works, and you can make a decision about how to do it. The plus side, it'll get you into, you know, a few foreign exchanges, though, you know, how long that's going to last, we're not all entirely sure. But anyway, I appreciate the question, but I do want to get back to the trading. So let's go ahead and move on with that. Were we done with Chromia? I think we were.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to, so that was a AA score sort. And another I've been using more for my day trades is a short-term sentiment score. Let's do a quick reload. And I used to focus on the long term, but I'm going to move that over to my swing trading and focus on the short term for day trading. And you can hover over the question mark here to see what this does. Generally, it's what people are talking about online. We're going to match that up with the Elder Impulse hourly. So we don't have much bullish right now. We only got 14 coins listed on each one. It wouldn't surprise me if we don't have a match. It looks like we
There's a
don't.
match.
On short term and hourly.
Yeah, right. No, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we have some matches on long term and daily.
Elder.
We'll talk about those in a little bit, but
Yep.
but we don't have them for here. So, you know, go back to my AA score. I think there was one more over there, waves. Yeah, let's look at waves. Okay, we were at Chromia before. 15-minute. Bounce over to waves. End of my list. And take a quick look at the 5. Get a dip sequence here. That wasn't bad, but we're too late for that. So for a price alert, I'd be setting something down here in the green zone and hoping it dips back down before I got back into that at that level. Okay, on the 15-minute. Let's move that over some. Yeah. Okay, we've got similar to what we just looked at with Chromia, just broke above the 20 on the RTI. So our cumulative delta is not as strong as Chromia was, so I'd be hesitant there. The candle action looks pretty good though, but that could be a fake out. In this situation, I would go ahead and set an alert, wait for it to dip again and come back, and then see if I get better results on the delta before I enter that trade. I think that's how I'd handle that. Now, if this is something I'm looking at in the morning, I want to trade all day. I'll show you something a little different. Well, it's different on this Zoom. You guys have heard of this before. So if I want to have it break above the 80 and dip back down, or break below the 20 and come back up, the alert I'm going to set is entering a channel. 80 on the top, 20 on the bottom. And again, this is another AA score purchase. Notification's the same. And then you're good to go. So so it won't go off if it breaks above the 80, but only when it comes back. So that's what I like about this one. Now, if you want to, for trend trading, and I use this one too, you can exit a channel and the numbers are the same. So when it does break above 80, you'll get an alert. When it dips below 20, you'll get an alert. And as you can see, when this broke below 20, that's a nice short. You know, all the way down here, you know, 3%. And when it broke above the 80 over here on Thursday morning, you know, that's almost 3% as well. So, you know, those are good day trades for those setups. And then if you just want to do spot trading, breaking above the 20, breaking above the 50, breaking above the 80, you know, I showed you those alerts on the last coin. So that's how I see it working for waves. Any questions on this one? Okay, let's go over to the short-term swing trading. And I'm going to have a different setup for that. You guys have seen me in the last couple of weeks in December with some of the setup, and I'm starting on the 15-minute chart. I'm going to look on the 30 and the 1 hour as well. I've got the super trend, and then we'll look at a couple others. And my goal is to catch some of these trades coming out of the green zone on the long side, coming out of the red zone on the short side, and matching that up with the sell and the buy, the super trend, and maybe some other, at least one more other indicator as well. But to find these, I'm going to go to Altcoin Alert. Instead of the short-term sentiment, I'm going to sort the long-term sentiment and match that up with the Elder Impulse Daily. These are obviously longer time frames for sentiment, what people are talking about online, and then the Elder Impulse Daily, which is a technical indicator. So I've got a match here on Pancake Swap. And I'm going to scroll down here to see if there's anything I like. This one I like, Stacks. I've been trading this a lot for the past few months. So let's check this one out. I had the chart. Well, we were looking at the chart momentarily. And let's look at the hour, get a kind of a bird's eye view of this. So this was recently up here around $1.73. It's $1.61 now. So if that returned, you know, to the red zone, we're almost 6%. Pushed halfway through, you know, 7%. That takes a couple days. I'm okay with that. Let's see the 30-minute. If you want to stay in a little shorter, looks pretty much the same. And the 15-minute actually looks pretty similar. So what I like to do with this approach, since the super trend is so alert friendly, I like to set my alerts on that. Right click on here, add an alert. And since I trade both directions, I really like the direction change. Once per bar close, this was long-term sentiment, and I might use a different, instead of the 3 notes reverb, I'll go with the handbell on this one. I think I'm gonna go ahead and create this one. So my 15-minute alert, instead of going for 1%, I'm gonna use I'm gonna go for the bigger move. If this dips below and then comes back, let's say I got into it right now, 6%. If I'm on 5x, probably on 5x leverage for me, I've been doing that lately on my manual trades on Bing X. And Matt, I should have thought of this. Bing X is an exchange you can use now with a VPN. So if you want to trade, it's pretty easy to use too. So you might want to check that one out. All right, so yeah, I think that's what I would do with that. If you want another layer of confirmation, I've been using this Annie's ribbon. Annie is I talked about her in my overview video that I released today. She's the day trader, short-term swing trader for the Crypto Banter group. And this is the group with Crypto Man Ran and Sheldon the Sniper. They're in South Africa and Australia, and I subscribe to their newsletter. I like it. So send me a daily email and I look at some of their stuff. It's one of my information sources. but I posted Annie's teaching on her own EMA ribbon. That's in the description of the overview video, so you might want to check that out. So what you can do with this is, let's say, it's not a great example. Let's go with this one here. So the buy alert triggers on super trend, and the ribbons are all green on Annie's ribbon. That could be confirmation. And so you could go ahead and get in on this and then ride that all the way up. So that would have been a good trade. On the short side, Annie's ribbon's a little late because we get the sell signal here, and it's a great entry. It catches the short all the way down. But Annie's ribbon doesn't really change in its entirety till here. So that's a worse entry. This is not a good example, but a lot of times they're aligned, and you feel better when you have confirmation from multiple indicators. But for me, the primary is the super trend, and then the coming out of the red zone for the short, and coming out of the green zone for the long. So, and I'm going for bigger moves, 5, 6, 7%, maybe up to 10, depending on what the chart looks like. And so I'm hoping this approach, I'm going to emphasize this year, unless it's a total disaster. But I've had some results with this in the past 3 or 4 months, and so I feel comfortable talking about it. And the trades take longer. They could take a couple days, couple weeks. I'll usually do additional purchases on my longs, so I talk about that in my ladder buying video, which is also referenced in the overview video. So anyway, I just dumped a lot on you guys. Any questions on the short-term swing trading approach? Okay.
Whenever I did have a question. Whenever the sell signal, you said that would be a good point to enter. Are you talking about for a shorting it?
Yes, for the sell, that's going to be an entry to short. Now, you don't just blindly follow what super trend tells you. You're going to lose a lot. So, look at support and resistance, which this indicator will help you find, supply and demand. And then, I've been using this Annie's ribbon for the last couple of weeks. There are other indicators as well if you want to focus on momentum or volume or things like that you can match up with super trend. But I think, for swing trading, usually support and resistance with one more indicators is, I think, pretty useful. So, any other questions? All right, thanks for that, Matt. And we will go through one more. Maybe 2 more. Yeah. Do I have something better to do? Of course not. So, yeah, long-term sentiment. We looked at stacks, and let's see, CeeLo. Maybe look at something more on the spot side. LDO. I've heard a lot about this one, but it doesn't really cross my radar as something to trade on leverage with the software I use. So we will look at LDO. It's on Coinbase. How convenient. Okay, so we will look at this as a spot trade on Coinbase. On the 15-minute, we are in the red zone. We don't like that. Yeah, I think we're too late for this one. So, bad example. Let's bail on that one. It's usually better if you look at something that's gone sort of sideways or down a little bit, so it has room to move. I'm not sure what AKT is. let's go look at CeeLo. This one's down about 7.5%. Haven't traded this in a while. So we will. Okay, plenty of room to move. Currently in a sell on the super trend. So let's say if we got a buy signal, 20%, we love that. This is a swing trade. That's a really good swing trade, especially with a little bit of leverage. Even a spot trade, 20% is awesome. So that's intriguing. Let's check the 30. It is trending up, so it wouldn't surprise me if we got a trigger on the super trend, about the same. Sometimes you look at these different time frames and the support and resistance is going to be the same. So we just got a buy signal about 40 minutes ago, but it hasn't done much. It went off here and then drifted down a little bit. So this is interesting. Do you get in now? What does Annie say? Annie is not ready. So you might want to set a price alert, what I call a confirmation alert, in this vicinity around 71.5 cents. Right click here. Confirmation. I've done that one a few times, obviously. And I'll probably use a different, maybe like a beep beep on that one. Click create, and there you go. So in this scenario, on the 15-minute, you've got the buy signal. You're coming out of the green zone, and probably by the time you get up there to say 71.5, 72 cents, you'll have the EMAs and Annie's ribbon all green, and you'll be good to go. If you're not, if it goes off and they're not green, you have a decision to make. If you want to wait for them to turn green, push that alert up a little bit, maybe to 73 cents, and try again. So, or you could go to a higher time frame. That might be easier. And just set your basic super trend alert on this. Any questions on CeeLo? Okay. Well, let's look for our short of the weekend. Let's short something. Now, since the market has overall been trending up, that can be a little dangerous, but since volumes generally tend to be less on the weekends, sometimes shorting can be a good thing to do. So we'll do this as a day trade, a little safer. And we'll go to our Altcoin Alert. We can do this a couple different ways. We can look at the short-term sentiment and sort it bearish. And we've got bearish on the short-term sentiment and the Elder Impulse hourly. Got that on dusk as well, on quite a few actually. Rose, XRP. Yeah, there's a lot of these. So you can pretty much take your pick. Let's look at CRV. Well, look at XRP. That's been popular lately. I know I've been trading on it more than I ever have. Okay, so I'm back on the day chart. I'm on the RTI. And let's see what we got here. So the last time this broke above the 80 and dipped, we had a dip here, faked us out a little bit, then broke back up and then cratered. This was before the dump on Wednesday morning, and we haven't had a move up like that since. It is trending up now. So for a short, I'm going to right click on the RTI, and I'm going to have this crossing down on the 80. Probably just only once. And this was a short-term sentiment. Oh. And I'll go with a beep beep on this. That's my short for the weekend. You can also, instead of the 80, you could have the same or a similar alert on the 50 or on the 20. I mean, we had a big move. Last time it broke below the 50 was the dump on Wednesday morning. It dipped below the 20 a few times after that. Here this morning at 4 a.m. Mountain Time, and got a really good move down, almost 3%. So, any questions on the XRP, the short of the weekend? Okay, any questions on what we've done overall? Any coins you guys want to look at? Okay, I have bored and/or fascinated you for 45 minutes, so this is a good stopping point. Matt, you look like you want to say something. You have muted yourself.
Can you look at link for me
All right.
or for us?
Is that something you're in? Do you have a strategy in mind?
Honestly, it's just like the coin of the week for CryptNation, and it's
Okay.
doing really bad right now.
We will look at it on a swing trade, on the swing trade layout. Okay. It's currently hovering around the green zones. This is a pretty good entry, but Annie's ribbon is not liking it, and we're going to sell on the super trend. So that's on the 30 minutes. Look on the 15. So we do have some green ribbons forming on Annie's ribbon, but we don't have a super trend signal yet. And on the hour, we are probably close to the green zone again. Yeah, even closer to it. So for a move on Link, I kind of like it on a super trend signal. Maybe confirm with Annie's ribbon, and then obviously it's in the green zone, so you have that already. So you're 1 for 3 as far as an entry. And it's obviously been up here in the red zone before. It had a really nice run up back in late last year in December, all the way up to 17. Didn't break 18, so it had a really nice move up here. So it's got plenty of room to recover. I like Link. It has a use function. So actually, I'm not hodling this one. I do have I think I have a swing trade going with this from November. It's doing pretty well. It was doing well. I took some cash out, but I'm still in it partially. So yeah, Link is a pretty good one. I think that this would be a good one to swing trade. Okay, any other questions or comments? Very well, I will wrap it up here. If you're watching on the recording, hope to see you live next time on Mondays and Fridays. Please check out the overview video and the videos listed in the description of that video. And then if you're watching this on the recording, please check out the opportunities listed in the pinned comment to help support the channel. I'll let you guys go. Have a great weekend. See you next time. Bye.
Thanks.